Welcome to Coffee with Kerry. We're here with my very good colleague and friend, and I don't know what else. Like she's got me. She always texts me and say, "I got you, Kerry."
I got you.
So this is my good friend Hema, and she's going to be answering some questions for us today. So Hema, let's talk a little bit about you.
About me.
We're flipping the switch.
I know, this is a little intimidating, but let's do this.
Let's do this. So, tell me about a day in your life, Hema.
What you see is what you get. A lot of my life revolves around work. I probably sometimes most people think I just do the show.
Right.
But I have a lot more administrative duties involved with the general news product. So sometimes my days span from 4 a.m. in the morning till 5 p.m. and that's in CNC3. I then try to run or exercise or get something in, and I do some reading, but I'm learning slowly the concept of work-life balance.
How important is diet and exercise to your beauty regime?
I see it's a little beyond my beauty regime. A lot of it has to do with health. My dad passed away recently.
Yes.
As a result of complications because of diabetes, and it's very prevalent in my family. So about 3 years ago, when he lost his first leg, I took a decision that I had to check myself because I'm in that pre-diabetic at-risk group, and it is extremely important for me just as a lifestyle choice because I understand, like I've seen the implications, and I've also seen someone that has lost a battle to a non-communicable disease, which was basically linked to not being able to control what you eat and how you eat, and just losing, and the battle that battle that weighs so heavily on him and on his family.
Oh, so that's actually very interesting, and I think a lot of people don't see the other side to Hema. And that brings me to my next question: how do you balance and find time for all of these things that go on in your life?
I just, balance is such a strange thing, and I think balance maybe to me 5 years ago, 10 years ago was so different to balance now. Before I was I still am, I'm still extremely career driven, I'm still very motivated in what I do, but I think also it's about enriching my soul and enriching my character and understanding the importance of happiness,
right,
and understanding passion and things that make me feel as though I'm a better human being. So balance is something that I wish I can strive. I wish I had more time to spend with my family. I wish I had more time to spend with you. I wish I had more time to go to see every movie. It's very difficult, but I try to at least do one thing outside my regime every single day.
A lot of people look to you because you're on camera every day and you're always so well put together. Tell us, what is some of your what's your routine like? What are some of your beauty tips, if any?
As cliched as it sounds, I don't really have that much. The importance of sunscreen, the understanding my hair care, which I know take care of my hair, and I laugh and I tell everyone I have no clue what goes on with my hair because Kerry does it. So it says Kerry. But a lot of water,
right,
healthy lifestyle, and I think happiness. Really, once you are happy with where you are in life, whatever it is, I think that beauty just radiates. And it sounds as cliched as it comes, but it's so true. Confidence.
So funny is that somebody said that to me last night, that when you smile, it almost brings to life something inside you.
It does. And when 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I thought a lot of it would have been, I would have said, well, my mascara and my eyeliner. But as you get older, as I said, balance and what drives you changes. And I think it's just once I'm okay and my relationship with God is okay, and my relationship with the people in my circle, whether they be family or friends, and that protected circle is okay, then I'm happy and I'm glowing,
I love that this is flowing, because my next question is, where do you get inspiration and motivation for life generally and to get up every day and do what you do?
Initially when I came into the media, it was really about breaking stories, and I was kind of put in this cast, this sort of type where a lot of interviews are political and very hard news,
right.
and I'm still very hard news. But I remember once sitting down and writing to myself what I really wanted to do, and it would have been conversations that mattered, telling the stories of people, and just being that sort of medium that people use to inspire people. And I find now I'm sort of returning to that. But it's just making the difference and inspiring someone.
Nice. Are you influenced by social media, or do you create your own style? Because I know today, this younger generation, we're so influenced with what goes on social media. How do you differentiate yourself, and how do you stand out?
It's, social media is something that you can't ignore, no matter what.
No.
And there's a great side to it, and there's a very dark, devious side to it. Because of that anonymity, we lose our humanity because of it.
I agree.
And people we forget we're dealing with a human being. We
Right.
forget that you're commenting on a person. It's as though we're having a conversation, but now there's this barrier. I try to be as authentic as I can. So what you see is what you get. But what I also do is I protect. I've learned to also protect the realness of some of the emotions that I have, because of the protecting the people around me.
Right.
Because coming down to political seasons, it gets very crazy where people, they are just mean sometimes.
Yeah.
But how much it influences who I am, I am who I am, and I show what you see is what you get.
Right. I think being real and authentic is a good place to be in life, because we're so carried away with we're trying to be something that we're not.
Yeah, and it's very easy when you're in certain lines of work to be, okay, I should dress this way, or I should look that way, I should be this way, I should, it's so easy. And now more than ever that I talk to a lot of young girls, and I get invited to these speaking engagements, and I try to tell them to teach their daughters to be confident in themselves, and to teach your daughters to don't look to other people, but be your own hero, and to be your own story, and to be your own author. And I've now learned the importance of that, and then let the world see that, but don't let that relationship be inverse.
I get you. That being said, and I feel like our conversations always flow.
That's because we're friends.
Do you have like a personal credo or mantra that you would, live by, or get up every day and say, this is what I'm driven by? Do you have any?
Oh, I have so many. Okay, I'm joking. I have about 5 really. The 5
let's
things
hear.
That I go by, and the order that I use them with every day changes. One is this too shall pass, and that's as biblical as it seems, but it's true.
Yes.
Because you learn that everything, no matter how breaking the circumstances, or how you feel as though everything is just inundated, and there are times when I feel overwhelmed, I remember that this too shall pass. I also live by, I'm my own cheerleader, and it takes a lot, because I think the importance of human existence is to make connections.
Right.
But you have to also celebrate yourself, and you have to also be confident in your own skin. You have to be confident in your victories and celebrate your victories. I also know this other one about God would not put me here unless there was a purpose, whether it be good or bad. So if it's an extremely bad situation, I feel as though I'm down on the floor crying my eyes out, I'm like, God does not put you here unless there's a purpose. So God will not put you here unless you have to learn something, break through this, or become better. And I also I have a responsibility to myself and to the people that trust me. So I don't take that lightly at all. So every time I say something, I make sure it comes from, particularly my news genre, if it comes from a position of no bias and trying to be as 100% accurate as I can be. So those are just some of the things that I guide. And spirituality is a big thing.
Right.
I believe in affirmations, and I believe in positivity. So I've started to just reassess. So if someone asks me how my day is, and I could be having the most horrible day, I'm like, it's good. I'm going good. It's going to get better.
It can only get better.
And
this too shall pass.
Yeah.
So who's the most influential person in your life?
Professionally and personally, they change a lot. I look to certain people, and people inspire you for different reasons. You know, I get inspiration from you, Kerry, in terms of and that's what sometimes I always say that you must learn from everyone. If you ask me another thing that I guide my life by, is everyone has a story for you, and everyone teaches you something, whether it be the person who's opened the door for me,
right?
Just being kind. I'm like, oh, that's a kind thing to do. But
Be kind and have courage.
yeah, it is true, but everyone, I learn from everyone. Tony Robbins, I'm a huge supporter of Tony Robbins. I listen to his podcast almost every day. Mel Robbins, and those are some international people. I think locally there are a number of persons that I look to as well, women in particular, who kind of chart a way forward and have taught, they've been able to stand up in spite of adversity. If I look at it in a celebrity way, I really have fallen in love with the concept of the ideas of who Priyanka Chopra is, which is interesting because
she's not just a movie star; she's a businesswoman. She's a
and I look at even recently Beyonce had this huge thing about her deal with Netflix, and I thought these are women who stand up and do what they do, and they're authentic to themselves despite the criticisms. And professionally, I would always tell you, Oprah Winfrey, as usual, would be someone, that I would.
She's like my personal goddess.
It's always about. And I remember one thing that I read from her, and it said, "Authentic power is when your purpose and your personality align, and once that is there, you're good."
So, what's your favorite thing about your career and what you do?
Getting to tell people stories. And, people somehow, because we've become so consumed and social media has allowed us to become so consumed with this, this image of what we think things are, that we forget the essence of human connections. But if I tell you that it is just about telling people stories, about telling stories to inspire people, or whether to bring justice to people, whether to make sure that their legacy is remembered.
Bringing people to life, basically.
Yeah.
I love that. What's your biggest accomplishment so far?
There are some goals that I have set for my life that I have been able to accomplish. And as I said to you earlier, when I was probably 10 years old, I wanted to have a job that I would see the world, and I those things change. But now I think every day my biggest accomplishment would be just being a better human being as opposed to the day before. I think a lot of times we put emphasis on our career and where we want to be, and I still have a lot of those. I still have a lot of goals as to where I want to be and what I want to do as my next chapter going to be as a professional. But the biggest accomplishment every day for me is knowing that I impacted someone in a positive way, but I'm a better human being than I was the day before.
And I think we should try to do that, impact people in a positive way every day.
Yeah.
I love that. So if you can go back in time and change one thing, what would that be?
To be a little more patient with myself. I think I rushed a few things because of fear, and to not be. Fear is an interesting emotion, and I think if I had to do one thing over, it would be to understand the inner workings of my fear and not allow that to motivate me to do certain things.
Okay, get that. If you have to interview one person, who would that be? One special person, who would that be?
I would tell you Oprah off that because I think, but it is just about.
Well, who knows? I mean, I flipped the script on you, so you can flip the script on her.
I think I would tell you maybe Oprah and Tony Robbins. I think I've put down as a goal of mine to go to one of his seminars and do it, and there's another person that I've started following recently, Gary Vaynerchuk, who's like a social media
guru.
But he's not. It's very weird because he's very different to who I would normally be attracted to. He swears for every other sentence. But it is about finding that balance with humanity and where we are in the world as being driven by technology and where social media fits into all of this.
Speaking about where we're in the world, if you had to live somewhere else besides Trinidad, where would you go?
Where would I go? I have the fondest memories because I had a previous job that I traveled a lot. That is so difficult, but I would probably tell you Malaysia or Singapore, only because it's such a melting pot of the world, and
I like that.
You experience cultures from very old to very new. And it's such a dichotomy that it creates this excitement in you.
I love that. I love that. Asian culture is supposed to be one of the oldest.
There's so much of grounding and understanding of self.
Right.
And I'm a huge, recently I've started to understand affirmations and positivity and starting to follow that line of thinking. And I remember when I went there, I sort of was first introduced to it, but it is such a blend of old, new, and everything in between.
I love that. So what makes you relax and what brings out the best in you?
What makes me relax? The people who know me and I feel protected around. I love a good book. I love a good movie. I go to the movies by myself all the time. That is so funny. But I do. I love a good movie. I love a good book. And the people who are in my inner circle, because I think the people who are in your inner circle are really a reflection of you.
Yeah, and they should be.
Yeah, they're a reflection of people who add to you and make you a better human being, not just add to you your whatever reason. Because I always think we measure things so inappropriately.
Right.
But they make you a better human being. And being around those people whose energy just lifts me up.
Uplifts you.
Yeah.
I love that. So, tell us something that we don't know about you.
I cry very easily. I think most people don't know that about me. I do. I am a crier. I cry for movies. I cry for books. I cry.
Yeah, so many people see the strong side and they more
the tough interviewing side.
Yes, that they forget that you are emotional and you're a person as well. Using 2 words, how would you describe yourself and how would your colleagues describe you?
My colleagues would probably tell you that I am compassionate and empathetic because I try to because I sit in an interesting tier of management, so I manage the newsroom resources basically, and I try to be an understanding boss because I always thought that if I would always remember what it's like to work under people who are not understanding, and for myself, so I would tell you that they would describe me as understanding and compassionate. Hopefully. And to myself, I would say loyal. I am extremely loyal. And
that's so funny. Just last night I told somebody that
I'm loyal.
One of my traits would be loyalty.
And that is true with you, Kerry. It is. Maybe empathetic. I feel as though compassion and empathy would be my traits.
I love that, and that is so true. So what celebrity would you like to meet at Pesh Patisserie for coffee?
I love Leonardo DiCaprio. I do. I love him as an actor. I love him as a human being. I think he is just marvelous. And I would think for world leaders, there are a lot of world leaders that I think I would love to meet if I had the opportunity to. More female leaders, so I mean they no longer exist because we don't see this, but maybe that's what I would do.
Leonardo DiCaprio, how interesting.
For sure. That's
So
my celebrity crush.
Now you guys have gotten to know Hema a little bit better, and on the flip side of her chair, so Coffee with Kerry, have your coffee, darling. And we're having my favorite coffee from Pesh Patisserie, which is the Gianduja Latte. I could pronounce that right, and I love it.
I'm gonna tell you what I was all excited about the coffee. About the latte, and I said, okay, great, I'm gonna get a great latte.
I love this. This is so good. Most amazing.